So this is week 2 of Craving Busters. And so after I did that whole gallery view, I want to change it back. So let's talk about like what went on this week. Um, what did you try? What did you notice? Like, yeah, let's just start there. Liz, I think I unmuted you. Did I lose?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So do you want to talk about?
I can talk, yeah. So, I am, and still nobody knows it, I'm 11 weeks pregnant. So
You're almost
trying trying to discern, I guess, what is a true craving? Because I feel like I feel like this go around has been so much better just with the one conversation that you and I had, the one meeting that you and I had has really helped just my mindset
right.
about where I place food in my life. And, my mode now is like, I have to eat
Right.
because someone is counting on it. Whereas I'm not struggling right now with the typical battle where, I'll get lost in my work all day and, put off eating. And by the end of the day, I'm just so incredibly hungry. I do it on purpose in the back of my mind, but then it's like also I'm like, well, it was an accident. I got to work in and I forgot about eating, but really it's on purpose because I don't take the time to stop and eat. But now I am making it it's mandatory because I have to eat. There's someone else counting on me. And I feel so much healthier when it comes to how I perceive food right now. My struggle is like I'm already, looking at some of my girlfriends who've done diets on Facebook and they've lost weight. And I'm like, okay, once this is over, here we go again, and and then the other side of my mind is like, wait, I can't go back into that again. Like I've got to find a healthy place to be. So just, like, what does it look like when it's just me and my body? Because I can starve it. I can binge on it. When there's nothing depending on me, I can abuse it. So
I don't know if we talked about, like, I do intermittent fasting,
mm-hmm.
which you cannot do when you're pregnant.
Right.
But one of the things that has done for me is I'm very purposed about food. And so you can be purposed about food, whether you do intermittent fasting or not. As far, like, one of the things I do is like, I plan what I'm going to eat. And so that way I know for the week, like, grocery shopping or what I need to stick in the crock pot or whatever, and it's kind of like Girl Scouts 101 when we did camping trips. Like, we would always plan our meals because we had to buy the food and make assignments and all that. But it's so funny, but like, we don't do that for ourselves. And so I wonder if even, and you may do that already just from being a family, I don't know if you do meal planning just so that you know what's coming, because we're typically going to eat at least twice, if not 3 times a day. And so that's a legitimate question. Like, are you doing any kind of meal planning now?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But you bring up a great point.
I always think about them women over there at the school cafeteria, man. You knew that every like 10 days you were going to have that square pizza and
Right.
corn. And you know, and they probably did that for the whole year because, you know, the way they're buying food. And it doesn't, you know, I know you live, or you're like me, like you live a busy, crazy life. And so it's not that these other things don't happen, but if I have a plan for 80% of the time, then I don't all of a sudden like get hungry and there's no thought, no prepared. And so you're more apt to choose things that are convenient and quick and not necessarily healthy.
Right. And
Just
see, that's where I mess up. I don't plan because I've I feel like I'll eat more. And psychologically in my mind, I'm like, well, if I'll just grab something as I go.
it's a lie. Um,
Hmm.
It's just a lie.
Yeah.
Every time, it's just the healthiest I've been has been when I've done meal planning, and I don't care. Like I do long fast just because I'm so insulin resistant.
Hmm.
And so I mean, I literally just look at the week on Sunday when I'm planning and going, okay, I'm going to eat on these days and these days, and these are the meals I'm going to eat. And I just plan it out. Now,
Yeah.
and even if I have, like, I've got a lunch or a dinner that's out, like, I just write that in, you know,
Yep.
um, it, because we all got to eat.
Yep.
And
No.
so, I mean, you plan every other area of your life.
Right.
um there's this there's this also, like, if you find restriction in it, in the planning,
Hmm.
then like that becomes a piece of the work, like that you go do a universal process or an end of words or one of the tools that I give you to come up against that resistance, because that resistance is a lie. It's part of what keeps us stuck. And there's no judgment on my part because I've done it, right? But it's like that point where you come up out of the water and go, oh, I can see now, because you've just been believing something that's just not true.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Okay.
So
Was
valid.
Did you say
Tammy?
something? Did you say something?
Yes, did you hear me?
I do now. Yeah.
Um, I think my problem partly is I did Weight Watchers so many times over the years that I wrote down every single thing and I had success,
Right.
but having to keep writing things down is not what I want.
And so I don't write, like, and so I like, I have a really hard time writing stuff down too. So I understand. Mine's more about having a clue on what I'm going to eat from a proactive standpoint rather than from a history, than saying, oh, I ate this, this, and this.
Okay.
This is more like, I don't know if you were in Girl Scouts, but
Yeah.
you know, we camped, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year. And so you would have to plan out every meal
Right.
just so you know what to go to the grocery store and get. Because so often we're in these habits of buying stuff at the grocery store, but we don't even think about how are those things going together. I don't know about y'all, but I end up throwing food out because I didn't think about I just bought things that I liked and didn't think about necessarily how all that was going to work and what my week looked like. And
Right.
so then by the time I can actually fit it in, like, it's gone bad. And that's
Yeah.
silly. Um, and so that, it's, for me, it's more about that than it is about this history and this, like, almost being a tattletale about what I ate,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I will tell you though that I realized that even that was a resistance on my part, and so I had to go work on it. There came a point when I was doing intermittent fasting that I wasn't eating enough calories, and so
Uh-huh.
I had to start recording it just so that I could see what they were, so that, because I actually needed to eat about 500 more calories a day than what I was eating, because
Uh-huh.
if you're not eating enough calories, you end up slowing your metabolism down, which is not the goal.
Right.
um, but today, everything that I do, whether it's scales or measure or whatever, like, it's more about being more of a scientist, trying to figure out what my body needs at this point, because my food is pretty good. And so it's like, so what's the little super sauce that my body needs in order to get things to shift? Because menopause is not fun. I'm just telling you.
Oh, I know.
Trying to get weight to release off your body at this age is a whole nother ball game. But not having the pressure or the shame or any of the compulsion stuff with food, like, I don't know, it just takes all the angst out of it. I truly I truly feel like I'm just a science project now, or not. It just doesn't have all that emotional charge to me anymore. And so again, anytime you're feeling resistance, like I had to go work on the traumas of diets. Like there were a couple of diets that I did that literally were traumatic to me. And so, and not like, the big T traumas, but they were just the trauma of losing weight and feeling like, oh, I licked this, to only gain it back again. Like
Mhm.
there's so much shame attached to that.
Yes.
And so I had to use the tools on that, so that I wasn't carrying that around, that I wasn't feeling like I was a bad person anymore. Because I don't know about y'all, but like I walked away feeling like such a diet failure. Um, and like I'm not. I mean, I have so many areas that I rock in, and so why am I carrying all the shame around this food? So the question the other question though is about this week and working with the tools. And like, I know, Liz, you did some work with them. Are you open to having a conversation about that?
Yeah. I told my mom, I was like, I think I just may have made it worse. And I felt like an idiot. I'm so sorry.
No, I just feel bad that I didn't separate those parts out for you.
No, that's not your job, I don't think. I mean, it's clearly titled Craving Busters, not curing my fear of flying.
No, but
Um,
I can just teach you how to apply it, and you can take it apart. The tools are the tools. It's just understanding which parts fit together. So,
right.
um, and so did you try it on anything other than the flying?
No, I mean, after I heard back from you, I was like, well, after I did that, I was like, okay, I definitely think I made a mistake. And so,
Yeah,
um,
we'll fix
yeah,
it. We'll fix it.
because I clearly think I had a panic attack. Like I broke out in a sweat like I never have before.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but so no, I didn't. But
Okay,
I really don't feel like I've had any residual since then. Um, I mean, I actually do have to fly on Friday,
okay.
but um, I'm doing what I normally do, which is I do it scared. So,
So we'll have time to work on it a little bit later. Uh,
okay.
because one of the things that, and so I hope I'm not, because we were talking about this anxiety earlier, right, when you came on. And because underneath the food, a lot of time, if you're eating compulsively or binging, a lot of times what's underneath that is anxiety. And so it's like that, this is the stuff we eat over. And so that's what the tools are really all about. I just have all this extra stuff to kind of flush all that to the top.
Yeah.